Hi, you're with Chandeep at Goodly once again, and in this video I'm going to share with you that how can you copy and paste data from Excel to Power BI, or maybe even from Power BI to Excel. Whether that's a visual or that's an underlying table, how can you copy that and put it to Excel? Let's just discuss the first one, that if we have data in Excel, how can you bring that data through a copy paste into Power BI? So I've created a dummy Excel notebook which has just two columns, category and the value, and maybe I'd like to create a disconnected table in Power BI. Although you do have an option of using the get data option of Power BI and linking this table using an Excel workbook into Power BI, but you can also copy and paste the data directly into Power BI. Just copy this data, the two columnar data, press Ctrl C, hop over to your Power BI. In the Home tab, we have the option of Enter Data. I'm going to click on Enter Data, and this opens up a small little Create Table box. I'm going to use the shortcut Ctrl V to paste that data, and it automatically detects the headers, gives a default name of the table. In case you want to change that, you can change it here, and then just click on Load. As of now, I'm just going ahead with Table 1. I'm just going to click on Load, and that data gets pasted into my Power BI. You can see that I have a Table 1 here. If I go over to the Data tab, I can just take a look at category. I can take a look at value. Now, a couple of advantages and disadvantages of this. The one big advantage is that this is really fast and simple. You can just copy it from Excel and paste it into Power BI. There are a couple of disadvantages as well. Number one is that in case you'd like to make changes to this after you have pasted it and after you have loaded this, the only way to do that is in the query editor. You can't really make a change now. So I'm just going to click on Edit Queries and go over to my query editor, which is where I will have the table 1 loaded. I'm going to go to the source step and click on the gear icon, which is where it's going to give me the same create table box. And now in case I want to change a value, change the category, or add more of them, I can do that right here. I click on OK, and as soon as I say close and apply, the changes get reflected in my Power BI model. The second disadvantage is that this is not dynamic. That means that in case the value changes in the spreadsheet, this would not automatically reflect here because this is just a copy and paste. It is not linked. And the third disadvantage is that Power BI at times gives you notifications that it cannot copy and paste large data using the enter data option. And now what is really large data? I really haven't tested it out as to what number of rows or columns is large data. But in case you're trying to paste some large data, Power BI will give you the notification that it would not accept that because it finds that data to be a large data. So you just have to play around with that. I don't really have a definitive answer to what exactly is the large data. All right, the second technique is when you want to take the underlying data table and load that data into Excel for some reason. Here is where I have some sales data. You can see there are many tables and one of them is sales, and this is my sales table. Now, what if I'd like to take this data and put it into my Excel? I can just simply right click here and then I can use the copy and the copy table option to put this data into Excel. Now, the copy option is only going to copy the current column on which you have right clicked, but the copy table is going to copy the entire table. So let's say, for example, I apply a filter on the channel and I say that I'd like to only see the data for organic. I click on OK, and then I use the copy table option, so which is going to copy the entire table. And then if I go over to my Excel and paste that data right here, it's going to copy the entire table, but only for that filter. So the copy and paste respects the filter. It doesn't really copy everything, but only the visible data. All right, last but not the least, how do you copy the data of a visual and paste that into Power BI? Now, what you have is they have two options to do that. So you can see that we have a financial year wise and a product segment wise or a category wise sales and the targets data. So one of the ways is that you export the data. So if you click on the visual and you have the export data option. Now this export data option is available for a matrix, it's available for a table, it's available for almost nearly all the visuals that you have, and you can click on export data. It's going to create a CSV of the current data which is being used to create that visual or a table, and then it will give you a CSV of that. So I'm not going to do that. You can just click on export and you can export that data as a CSV. The other way is that you can also copy and paste the visual data into Power BI. How can you do that? You hold the control key, select the financial year column, you hold the control key, select total sales, hold the control key, select the total targets. Once you do that, you right click and then you click on copy and then you say copy the selection. I click on copy selection, I come back to Excel, and let's just paste it on the right. So I'll just press Ctrl V, and you can see the data has been pasted. Now the only problem with this is that it has distorted the financial year, right? So this is not what we were expecting, but this has considered that to be a date, and it has created its own date rather than actually the financial year that was mentioned in Power BI. So there are some advantages and disadvantages of copy pasting it this way. All right, that's it. That's how you can copy and paste the data from Excel to Power BI or Power BI to Excel. Every technique that I've shared has some pros and some cons. Let me know which one did you find the best. And in case you do copy a lot of times the data from Excel to Power BI or from Power BI to Excel, what is your best technique and how do you do that? Thanks for watching this, and you take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.